Stefan Kotze from Stefan Kotze Media, and today we're in my 1999 Lexus LS400.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.
I knew about the LS400 Lexus a little bit, but not too much. Churro, he actually bought one, and he was saying to me, Stefan, look at this cool car I just bought, an LS400, you should look at one. I did a bit of research, and by chance, I found one for sale, because there's very few that came to South Africa. Like in the States and stuff, they're quite popular, but in South Africa, they were not that popular. And I don't think Lexus brought in as many, because they were quite expensive back in the day. The car was 50,000 Rand. So yeah, very cheap for something that's a premium car, everything works, and yeah, it's a very nice car. So when I bought the car, it had a little bit of damage, not major stuff, like some of the clear coat were peeling a little bit. There was a little bit of surface rust where maybe the wheel had hit the arch, so one fender was a bit misaligned, but nothing major. It was Lexus pearl white when I bought it, and I kind of wanted to keep it that way, but then I started doing a lot of stuff on the car. So the very first thing I did, as soon as I got the car, I took it to my mate Cameron from Gloss Monster Detailing, just to see what state the paint is in, did a detail on it, got it a bit better. So the first thing I did after just doing the base detail of him, I did exhaust on the car. These cars actually, like, you wouldn't even know they're V8. They were, obviously they didn't want the car to be loud and whatever, just needed to have the power but be smooth and quiet. This has got the newer generation 1UZ in, which is the VVTi motor. So these actually came with like 7, when you put on the lift, front row from Fatboy Fabworks. He did a full stainless exhaust for it, from the front to the back. We took out, I think, 4 boxes. So we kept two boxes and 2 resonators. So the car sounds nice, but it's not overbearing. And when you're cruising, there's no drone, which is the most important thing. Like, I can't stand a car that's got drone. Even though I've done the exhaust on the car so that it's not so quiet anymore, the engine is still completely stock, the gearbox is stock, and I've added an external oil cooler as well and a bigger radiator. Just so I got some better cooling, but it sounds nice and it sounds apart, but it's still got proper Toyota reliability. So after the engine and mechanical stuff was kind of sorted, I shoot for Speed Hunters in the States as well, and Airlift is one of their partners and one of the partners that works with us. So they send me a full Airlift performance kit, because the LS400 is so popular overseas, they make a bespoke kit just for the LS400. It's obviously got the right bags and stuff that can handle the weight and the size of this car. So they sent over a full Airlift performance kit with their management, float tank, dual compressors, all that, which I then took to my mate Strat from, used to work at the Lowdown Co.
Today we're going to be discussing about what we're going to be doing to this awesome barge of a machine here. First thing we're going to do is strip out what we need to. We're going to run wiring and airlines and put the management and everything, plan out what we're going to do in the boot. And then after that, we'll get it up on the lift. We'll start stripping out all the stock components. We will also be doing the full wire tuck on the fender to obviously clear the harness so that we don't rub through on that when he's driving low. And then basically dial everything in, put the wheels on, put it on the floor, measure up to see where we're sitting and what needs to be changed. And then we can measure up to see how wide we can go in these wheels.
And because it's a kit made specifically for the car and it's got dampening settings, it's so smooth, it's good. And obviously, when you park it, it looks great. So the wheels are Riverside Traffic Star STR 2-piece wheels, which I picked up from a local wheel shop. They were 8 and 9J wide. So what we did, that was not wide enough for the car at all, especially of the air. So we actually put the rears, which were the 9Js and the 19-inch wheels, we put them on the front. And then we took the fronts, we split them, and we made them 11J to tuck nicely in the rear. Put a bit of stretch tires on just so it can obviously clear the fenders and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty much perfect fitment. One day I'd like to get some other wheels, but locally, wheels is probably one of the most difficult things to actually get. So I think for now, I'm quite happy with these wheels. They fit nicely, they drive nicely. The interior of the car wasn't too bad. The leather was a little bit worn and it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. So Abdul from Autozan Casino is a good mate of mine.
And we specialize in custom car audio fabrication.
And he said, let's just redo the interior, but we don't have to do the roof lining or the door panels, any of that. It was still perfect. So
the idea of the whole thing was these VIP style Lexuses that we see on the internet, but we don't see many of them in South Africa. We then started first with the seats of the vehicle. We added some double stitched diamonds into the seats, added some extra foam for extra comfort because it is a VIP style interior at the end of the day. We also redid the steering wheel of the vehicle, which is something we are very proud of. Not a lot of people can actually say they can do a steering wheel properly anymore. And it's kind of a dying art, and we just want to keep all these dying arts alive. So basically what we did in the boot here was, he's got a full Rockford Fosgate setup in here. Starting off with the head unit, he's got a nice Sony XAV 5550 unit. It allows for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so it's easy to use. The usability, the interface is pretty simple. We hid the amplifiers in this build because there was not a lot of space, because having the air install as well as the hard lines and showing off the air items, there was no space to actually put the amplifiers in and not make it look busy, because if you look at the air part of it, it already looks busy. So if you see, we have two Rockford Fosgate P2 subwoofers. Those are all run by the Rockford Prime R501 amplifier. Then we've got a R300X4 Prime amplifier, which is running the front Rockford splits and coaxials in the rear doors. And yeah, we use some RGB LED lighting.
And he did a custom install in the rear of the Lexus, which used to have a massive boot with loads of space, which now has no space. The air tank sits in the back and the compressors, and it's a simple design. It's not overcomplicated, but it really looks nice. So the car's pretty much like a modern car inside to drive. Other than that, all the electronics in the car still work, which is great. It's got electric steering column, electric seat belts, electric seats, and all that stuff just still works for like a 25-year-old car. This thing's pretty much perfect. So the last step of the build was, after all that stuff was done, like I drove the car for quite a bit, just enjoyed it. And the paint was bothering me a little bit because I'd redone now, everything else, and it was looking great, all redone, but then the paint was a bit lacking. So I did think, and a lot of people said to me, just keep it as it's a bit of a patina, it's cool, it's all nice inside and the engine stuff, but the paint, but I was like, if I've gone through all this effort, might as well do the paint. I looked at colors. I wanted to go black because black on a car like this will obviously look epic, but I also thought black's a bit boring. I wanted to go for a nice silver, which I did like. My wife told me I'm an old man if I go for silver and it's very boring, so I decided against that. Then I came across, this is a custom mix of blue onyx metallic, which is a color that actually came out on the E92 BMW M3s. So I went to go see Ryan at i9 Customs. I know them quite well. And they said they'd love to paint the car and do a partnership with me of the car. And the paint took quite a long while because I said, let's do it whenever you got time, there's no rush for it. So it took a long time to decide what color to paint the car, and eventually we settled on this color. It's really nice because when it's dark and when it's nighttime, when there's no sun, it almost looks black. But as soon as the sun comes out, you get that beautiful metallic blue color, and it just, it works for me. Like I dig it. It's a mission to keep clean, but yeah, it works. Yeah, and because the paint is such a mission to keep clean, Cameron, who did the car for me right at the beginning, obviously I took it back to him, and they did a proper detail on the car after it was painted and a ceramic coating, just so that the car can stay nice and clean and the paint's protected and stuff like that. get a lot of compliments on the car. I mean, that's not why I bought it. I just bought it, and people ask me all the time, do you take it to shows and stuff? And not really. I bought the car to enjoy for myself. And I guess just because it's so different and it's so big and obnoxious, and especially obviously when you park it and you air it out, it's just, yeah, it just looks cool.
What's the car with Cars.co.za? This is KG the Connector. The ground shakes when he revs his ride. It's the perfect praise song for a gassy king. Now think of a car, any car. Yes, we have it. Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.